Shruti, let's dig into it. What makes payments hard?
Let's take any small or large business for that matter. They have extremely complex payment flows, and that's because they need to work with a number of payment providers and banks and rails to tie all of their entire product and payments together. They may have to work with card processors to enable card payments in their product. They may have to work with a number of different banks and rails like ACH, wires, checks, and international payment rails. All of these rails and payment providers have technical specifications that run into hundreds of pages, and they're all built very differently on different payment subsystems. So if I were the one that is building these payment operations and flows in my product, then I would have to integrate with a number of different payment providers, integrate with a number of different payment rails. And if I were a finance controller in one of these companies, then I would have to do all of the finance operations repeatedly every month to close my books. And what that means is I would have to download payment information and transaction information from a number of different sources and then upload the same to ERP systems to do the finance reporting, accounting, balancing, billing, and some of those operations every month. Because it is manual, you will have to hire people, and that's very expensive. And also, you kind of are exposing the business to financial risk because errors will happen in a manual process. So you need to build the right reliability around managing these errors, around tracking them, monitoring them, mitigating them. And you'll have to build all of those processes, some of which are still, again, manual to this day. So there you have it. Scaling to hundreds of millions of dollars in payment transaction volume means that you have to build a reliable, robust system and also reduce financial risk at scale. James, you have built a large payments product at a firm previously, and you have seen a lot of these problems. What were some of the payment challenges that you saw in these systems, and how you overcame them?
Yeah, at a firm, we had very interesting scalability and reliability challenges. One of my favorite products I dealt with was this product called Promos, which is kind of like running pre-approval ads on our merchants' websites for our customers. And because they were pre-approval ads, we couldn't fully cache them. And we were seeing upwards of 10,000 QPS for some of these ads. If they were static, if they could be cached on CDN, it would be easy. But we needed some of that customer's information for dynamic processing and pre-approval. So that was a challenge, and we kind of figured out a way to cache some of them, but not cache some of them. Another one is figuring out how to scale for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And on those days, the scale we saw was about 5x to 30x our normal baseline. And we can't just have 5x or 30x the number of machines because that will cause downstream bottlenecks or upstream back pressure issues in other parts of the system. On those days, we would see about 1,000 plus loan attempts per second, either preempted, where our customers would let us know ahead of time, or unpreempted, where our customers would launch an email campaign and we'll just have to scale up at a moment's notice. There was one Black Friday I remember where one of our largest customers sent an email campaign, and we saw so many loans that the loans couldn't fit inside a single zip file. And we had about 30 minutes to figure out the difference between zip32 and zip64 and rewrite all of that and upload that to the bank before to make cutoff. But that said, some of the challenges we saw at Firm, because only underwriting and checkout had to be synchronous, disbursements, collections, funding could all be asynchronous. And that makes it a little bit easier. WhatsApp payments on UPI is a bit trickier, isn't it? It all had to be synchronous.
Yeah, synchronous and real time, right? So one of the main requirements for building WhatsApp payments was that it must be as easy to send a payment on WhatsApp, just as easy it is to send a message on WhatsApp. When you have trained billions of people around the world to a product experience that fulfills the instant gratification from real-time messaging, you kind of have also trained them to expect the same type of product experience from payments as well. And this means payments on WhatsApp needed to be simple, reliable, secure, and real-time. And we had access to many of the real time settlement rails around the world, like, for example, UPI, Unified Payment Interface in India, and Brazil's PIX, and some of the other faster push to cards and payment rails give you the ability to build real time settlement automatically. But it was interesting to figure out all of the other product experiences that had to come together to make it truly real time within the app. When you expect a payment to settle automatically when the payment is successful, you kind of expect the same level of guarantees when there is a payment failure, when you're building your risk and other types of analysis on the app, or when you're building support, like when a user calls in and complains that they're not seeing a payment, they expect the same level of real-time support that they would expect otherwise. So it was a lot of fun building some of those product experiences, and I'm super excited to see real-time settlement rails emerge and get traction in the U.S. now. As you know, RTP, which stands for real time payments, and RFP, which stands for request for payments, have existed in the US for a few years now. And this year, we also launched FedNow, which provides another real time payment protocol. And yeah, we are seeing good customer traction and interest to build some of these product differentiators. Just imagine a gig worker that is badging out of their workplace, and instead of waiting 2 weeks for their payroll to be available to them, they can now immediately access their payroll. So I'm excited to see some of these products take shape in the US. And, this is like a highly utilitarian and also socially responsible way of building payments, right? So yeah, so super excited to see that as well.
Yeah, getting my paycheck instantly sounds great. I'm really excited to hear about modern treasury expanding into FedNow and RTP. And in addition, we're also scaling by adding new banks, larger banks, new rails, onboarding bigger customers. And all of this, as we scale, makes reliability even more critical. So what are our major goals for this year?
One of the main product goals and objectives is for us to support all of these different payment providers, banks, and rails seamlessly through a standardized API. Additionally, we want to be able to provide automatic reconciliation across all of these different payment providers and rails, so that I, as someone that is building payments within my product or within my business, has access to a single pane of glass type product that provides visibility, access, and control to all of the payment flows that are happening within my business. And as as an engineering team, our goals around building such a product is to provide high availability, high QPS queries per second, that is high throughput, high reliability, and low latency products. To be able to hit these product goals, what would you say are some of the table stake requirements on the infrastructure side?
It's been really fun to see the kind of products that customers build on top of modern treasury. We have seen customers build wallets, trading apps, payroll apps on top of modern treasury. And with these kind of applications, a single request error could mean that somebody was unable to make a trade or a bunch of people didn't get paid on time. And from my experience in fintech, what I know is that if someone didn't get paid on time, that could mean that they missed their mortgage payments, that could mean a default, which could lead to a whole bunch of other disastrous events. Currently, the enterprise standard is 4 nines, which means that at most 1 in 10,000 requests can fail. And for us to build to that level of high availability, we need multi-AZ, auto-scaling, auto-recovery. And one way we do that is using cellular architecture with staggered deployments, which allows us to deploy our changes to a small subset of customers at a time and control the blast radius of any of these errors. In addition, we have in-depth observability into all of our system components at every layer of the stack, so that when something wrong happens, we know instantly and we can respond and fix it.